Hi everybody, this is Luz and I'm here again to do a project with you. I wanted to show you that behind me I have some of the previous projects we did that you can find in YouTube in the Integrity House. And remember that if you want to do any of these projects and you need materials, you can let us know and we can provide it to you. So please let us know. So the first project we did, I want to remind you, is the Love Your Hand, because being washing our hands to be virus free. And I did a couple of hands. And then the second project, it was with magazines. And we did a fish and a heart. And I previously have made another hand. So today is going to be our third project, and we're going to be doing a magnet. We're going to do a magnet that we can put in the refrigerator. But if you don't want to do a magnet, you can just do the shape and then glue it to any other surface, or just to give it to somebody as a gift. All right? So what we're needing first is a shape made of thin wood. And this is it. In this case, I chose a heart. And you will do your design in the front, and on the back, you will glue your magnet. The first technique I'm going to use to do the magnet is that I'm going to be using paper onto the wood base. So I'm going to use this magazine that is a beautiful catalog with flowers that somebody was going to throw away. And I thought that it would be a beautiful thing to use. And what we need to do too is that I would suggest to paint the base, which is in this case a heart, of some color. That way, if when we're gluing our paper, we miss a little sliver of paper when we are gluing them together, you will see this color underneath. So here I have a lot of pieces of paper that I cut from the magazine, and I did different shapes, you can see. And I have my painted heart. And what I can do is that I can kind of lay some pieces of paper with different shapes next to each other and see how do they look. This is first just to make sure you like what you're doing. You can move it around until you're happy with it, and then you can put it next to it here, and you can start gluing the paper. Here it is. I'm doing some different things, choosing different colors. And you can glue, and even that is bigger the paper, you can later cut it. The important part is to glue it down. So I think that if you can see, I'm putting a lot of different pieces on here, and I'm going to start gluing it. So I'm going to use my glue, whatever glue you like, and I'm going to be using a brush, and I'm going to be lifting each piece of paper and then put it back in there. Okay, so this is a direct technique where I'm just gluing the paper onto the heart. I want to show you how the heart looks in the front. The paper is all glue. On the back, you can see all this extra paper that we will cut when it's dry. So we're going to let it dry, and then later we can glue our magnet here on the back. I want to show you that I cut the extra paper that was on the edges. And once that I do that, you can see how the future magnet looks. Once that you do that, then you're going to come with a little layer of a special coating, and you're going to seal it. And remember that if you want to do this project, you contact some staff at the Integrity House if you belong to the clubhouse, and then we can provide you with the materials. And here now all I have to do is let it dry. and then we will glue the magnet in the back. Another way that we can do the magnet is utilizing the technique we use for the heart and for the fish. I suggest that you can go to the YouTube video that I did on how to do the heart of the fish, but just to refresh you, what we use is a blank piece of paper. We cut a lot of strips. We put glue into the paper. Then we chose the color that we wanted to have. We put it onto the paper. We smashed it a little bit like this. And we just keep going and keep putting strips of paper. It's a little wonky, a little curvy here because it's still wet. But when it dries, what you're going to do is that you're going to put a heavy book on top and it will flatten it. And it's going to look something like this. Once that you have this dry and the book has been put on top of it and is flat, you're going to come with your magnet or your piece of wood and you're going to trace it. You're going to come, you're going to trace. It can be from the front or it can be from the back. And then you're going to cut it. And once that is cut, you can come and glue that on top of this. So I'm going to show you here because I kind of did it. This was my piece of dry paper and then I traced it. You see that it was here. Then I took that piece of paper and I glue it on here. And that's the other technique that we can use to do the magnet. I'm doing a little extra collage so you see how it's made with a different shape that is not strips. And what I did is that I put glue on my paper. It's very wrinkly, but don't worry because it will flatten once that you put the book on top. And you see that I'm just adding different pieces of paper in different places. And that way you could have something that is not necessarily in strips, but that it has a different shape. I keep just selecting my paper and cutting if I need to, and just putting it. Let's see if this is enough. I think it will be enough to make a heart. And now we're going to let it dry. So here I have the dry paper shapes, and I'm going to show you that I'm going to try to decide where is that I want it to be. I'm going to put it there and I'm going to trace it, and after tracing it I'm cutting it and gluing it. So here I go. I'm doing it here. I didn't do it too strong because I want to make sure that you don't see it once it's finished. So I'm cutting my paper now. Cut a little bit here so it'll be easier. Here we go. This one, let's see. Okay, over here, I can glue the piece of paper to this. And if you want, as we said, we can do a little bit of color underneath before we glue it down. And then whatever little leftover, we can cut it as well. So there's a little bit of color that I want to put here just to make sure that doesn't look like the wood underneath. And then I'm going to put glue it down. You can put a little bit on the paper too to make sure you put enough. And now we're going to do this. Make sure, there you go. I sometimes do it like this. Smash it from the back. And now we're going to let it dry. And then we're going to protect it, put the coat. One more technique we can use to do the magnet is to make drawings into the wood base. And then we're going to color them with pencil. And the last step will be to seal it. So I'm going to do this drawings and then I'll show you how it looks like. So here I have the heart that I finished. I painted it all with colored pencils. And then I'm going to now seal it with the sealer that will protect all of these pencils that I use. And then after this, I just need to let it dry. And like the others, I need to glue the magnet to them. And I'm going to show you how I do that. We have our 3 hearts finished and we are going to glue the magnet to them. But I wanted to show them to you because they're already being sealed. And so you remember what is that we did. The first one is the one that we use flower magazines and we cut them and glue them directly to the heart. So that's the direct technique, the 1x1. Then the second one that we did is similar to the technique that we use for that heart and the fish that is behind me. And it was making some kind of collage on paper. Then we cut that when it's dry and then we glue it onto the heart. And this is a number 2. And the third was more simple, which was just drawing and coloring the wood heart directly. Okay. Here we have our finished hearts and we're going to flip them. And we're going to put glue into the magnets and place them on the back of our heart. I have a couple of different types of magnets and that's what I was able to find. And each one is going to have their own. Now we're just going to let it dry. And later we're going to see them on top of the refrigerator. I'm in the kitchen now and I put the magnets in the refrigerator door. Here they go. I hope that you enjoy the project. Thank you. I'll see you next time.